Our job is to keep this country together, to protect our democracy, to protect our Constitution. And while these investigations are going on, we've got to make sure that we don't let this country get torn apart more. And I'm not on those committees. I'm on other committees. I'm working with Fred Upton on lowering the cost of prescription drugs. I'm working on PFAS. I'm working on getting a trade deal for workers that have been out walking picket lines. I'm working on issues that matter to people every day, and we have to do both.
I'll get to those issues in a second because I think they're important. But Fred, and I'll note, we're taping this interview a week out before it airs, and this story is changing by the hour. So, but at this point, the impeachment proceedings, do you see it as a political witch hunt or something that's necessary to get to the bottom of what's been going on in the White House?
A couple things. I'm not on one of the relevant committees that is beginning to investigate this either. I remember well the Clinton impeachment trial back in the 90s and how it really did consume just about everything.
Yeah.
And we are now in a new fiscal year. We have yet to see the Senate pass a single appropriation bill. We'll have another continuing resolution. We have lots of issues, whether it be a defense authorization bill, issues before the Energy and Commerce Committee, a whole host of things. And, you know, as I look at where we are today, I think there are legitimate questions that need to be answered. They are going to be answered. So the message, tell the truth the first time, you don't have to worry about it a second.
What is possible in this environment? I mean, can you all go to Washington, go back to Washington and sit down and say, hey, let's move this trade bill. Let's get a vote on this trade bill and send it to the president. Can you do the environmental issues you talked about? Can you do prescription drug prices? Can you do immigration reform? What's possible in the environment in Washington today?
So it is possible. Debbie and I are both members of this caucus called the Problem Solvers. It's a bipartisan caucus. We were successful in changing the rules of the House to really encourage more bipartisanship. One of the things that we're going to do right away when we come back, and we've been working on an immigration little side task force as part of that group, and we're hoping to have a bipartisan bill, particularly focused on the ag side on immigration. But a number of us went down to the Texas border in July to see the crisis that indeed is there, and what can we do to change and fix a broken system. So that's a big priority for us.
Fred and I, working on many issues that matter to the state of Michigan and matter to the country, aren't working on them through problem solvers, but are actually doing it through committee, the Energy and Commerce Committee, which has had a long history of working together on very tough issues in a bipartisan way.